me emergency so that I don't die of coronavirus. So now that I've put everything in my closet and put everything away, the last step, actually there's 2 steps left, I don't know why I said last step. The second to last step is to take pictures of my clothes that I'm trying to sell on Instagram and put them on my Instagram story. Here's the load here. This is what we're working with, this large pile of clothing in this laundry basket, and then I'm going to try to set up a little photo standing station to take pictures in front of the aesthetic part of my room, which is this wave flag canvas thing. But yeah. So then I proceeded to try on all the clothes that I had set aside to sell, and not gonna lie, it was really fun taking pictures. I got some really cool results with my camera, and then I basically spammed my Instagram story with these really aesthetic looking things, and I sold everything! All 21 items that I put on my story were sold, which made me really, really happy because I decided to donate the money to a charity really close to my heart called the IMHO. But there's one more thing I have to do on my clothes journey this week, which I've kind of been dreading because I'm a little scared, which is altering my clothes. Let me just walk you through what's going on right now, right? Like all those clothes that are behind this pile of clothing is everything that I've set aside to try and alter. My phone died basically after the last clip, and here I am continuing like an hour later after eating like 400 grapes. Anyways, I used to be like obsessed with sewing when I was in 7th grade. I wasn't that good at it, but it was like pretty thorough obsession. The point is, my sewing skills are super limited. But here's what I have, is a sewing machine. And I've picked out a lot of clothes that I think I can alter. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. There's some stuff that I don't even have to sew. It's just like, well, I'll tell you my little plan. But the thing is that it's definitely a hit or miss. For each clothing item, I'm going to try and like plan what I want to do with it out. So I have my notebook out. I have to do a lot of practicing with the sewing machine because I literally have no sewing machine skills at all. Like, just zero. So I found this old book that I had in like 7th grade, and I tried to look through it to see if it had any tips on how to get started with sewing, which it did. So I grabbed some like random supplies that I found around my house and literally grabbed sidewalk chalk, which is not what you're supposed to use, but it's the only chalk I could find in my house. Then I went to YouTube, you know, my trusty source, and I found some videos with really catchy music. That's why I'm dancing. But I literally watched like 3 hours worth of YouTube videos, and it was really going too fast, and I had to rewatch a bunch of them, and like I tried my best, but it was a really hard time, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty complicated.
You can just do it using the hand wheel here. So you also have a bunch of settings.
Okay, major crisis. Bobbin, this little thing at the bottom, stuck. I came across a couple of problems along the way, but obviously, as you can see, I'm trying my best to fix them. I started off with this BTS t-shirt that I had from an old concert, and as you can see, I'm marking it down, and now I'm just making all the cuts that I need. Took a couple of measurements, and all I was really looking to do was make a crop top, but didn't realize that it took that much measuring. Then I went to my sewing machine and I sewed a hem onto it, which was my first really simple activity, but kind of took me a little bit to do because, you know, I can't sew. But here's my final product. I was really happy with it. Super proud of myself. When it showed my mom gave me a pat on the back. It was really happy time. So yeah, that's my new BTS crop top. The next shirt that I chose was this Billie Eilish shirt that I got from Hot Topic on Black Friday that was way too tight. I made some marks on it to make a crop top, and then made some marks to make the sleeves shorter and like perkier, if that makes sense. And so, as you can see, I'm marking it, and then I used like pins to put the spots in on the sleeves, and then I went to marking off measurements. I just went absolutely crazy. I was going super fast. I had to find this green fabric that didn't really match the shirt, but that's all I had, so I had to use that to stitch. Then, as you can see, I'm using a YouTube video as a reference. I'm trying my best to make these really perky sleeves that I have no clue how to do, and this was the final result. Not gonna lie, it was kind of cute. I did some holes in it because, you know, I'm edgy, and that was the final result. Then, next project was this orange t-shirt that I've had for literally 5 years, but the logo is really cool, so I didn't want to get rid of it. I was just looking to make like a little sleeveless tank top, so as you can see, I'm making some cuts here, yada yada. It's pretty boring, but here's the final result. did was a pair of sweatpants. I like saw this thing on TikTok where you can like make it look like it's tie-dyed using bleach. So that's what I did. I was in the middle of the night, I ran downstairs, grabbed a container, and I'm aware that it's the same container I used to put cherries in. Please don't make a big deal out of it. Anyways, I put like 60% bleach and then a rest of water. Rest of water? What kind of English is that? I'm really dying right now. It's also nighttime. But anyways, then I shook that mixture up, made it nice and juicy, nice cleanse, used some rubber bands, made some ties on the sweatpants, and then just went ham again, poured bleach all over them. Then while I was waiting, I kind of got a little scared because I actually poured a little bleach on my foot, so I was concerned that I was gonna get an acid burn, but you know, it didn't really happen. Then it smelled really weird, and I did some dancing while I was waiting for my sweatpants to finish soaking up all that nice tasty bleach, and then I was so happy because it ended up looking so cool, and I was just super excited. And then I stuck it in the wash because obviously you can't just wear sweatpants that have bleach on them. So then I stuck them in the wash and just put them in there, and the next day I had to try them on. Here are the results. Oh my god, this one was actually one of my favorites, other than the sweatpants. So this one, it's like an old orange top that I had from American Eagle that I'm clearly very disgusted with because it's pretty bad looking. But at this point it was like 3 a.m. and I just didn't want to do anything, so I woke up the next day and did the rest of it. This one was kind of painstaking because I had to hand stitch it because it was too small of an alteration to like do with the sewing machine, if that makes sense. So I had to like hand stitch all the different things that I did, which kind of took a while. But it was coming along. The ties were coming together. The goal was to like make it look like it was bunched together, and then I like cut a couple of pieces off of it. If that makes sense. None of this makes sense. I'm just talking to myself. Anyways, then I kept stitching, jamming out to my music that was playing in the background. Again, it took a while. It took like probably 4 hours, big chunk of my day, but you know, I enjoyed doing it, so it's fine. But basically what I was trying to do was like bring it together so that it looked like a more tight and together top, if that makes sense. Then I had to make some changes with the sewing machine, which also took a while. This is me putting together and realizing that I actually did what I wanted to do, which was super cool and very happy. And then, yeah, here's my sewing machine. I basically almost broke it, which was really sad. But then, I like watched a YouTube video and I fixed it.
I did it! I fixed the needle!
So the needle breaking really took a toll on me, so I had to take a break. I munched on some blackberries for a good bop, and then I got back to work. Not gonna lie, took a couple snacks, then I had to do some measurements to like cut the bottom part off, just to make sure that it was a good crop top, and here are the final results! I keep saying this about all of them, but the next one was also one of my favorites. I basically took an old purple sweater that I bought at Old Navy that I've had literally since 6th grade. Kind of fits weirdly. Here's me like cutting it and making all the measurements, but I basically wanted to make it into a sweater. I got super excited because I got to use a lot of my buttons, and I love buttons. And here's me taking a sip of apple cider. Anyways, then I got to work. What I had to do was make hems in the places that I had cut so that it was a nice clean edge for the sweater and a nice base for the buttons. Then this is me threading my sewing machine. Again, had to do a lot of stitching with this one. But yeah, that's okay, more sewing. And then this is me finally sewing the buttons onto the side, and I couldn't really figure out which side the buttons went on, but then I remembered a handful. Remember when Michael wore a women's suit to work in the office? And Phyllis was like, it's because the buttons are on the left. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that's how I figured out the buttons went on the left side. Anyways, then this is me finishing sewing the buttons on, which was honestly really fun because I love buttons. I'm so done with voiceovers, but anyways, I got hurt, my finger hurt, and then here's where this is the downfall of the crafting business. I tried to make a pair of mom shorts out of an old pair of jeans, and I watched a YouTube video, but it really did not work. So this is my official failure and subsequent sadness that came along. I cannot figure this out. So at this point I was just kind of done with everything. I could not figure out how to do this last crafting, and I was getting a little negative, I guess you could say, but here are the last two things I did. I'm really sorry, I know my voiceovers are super bad, but if you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, because I know this is a really long video and it got kind of boring in the middle, but yeah, that was kind of the end of my clothing journey. I had a lot of fun. If you guys want any details on how I did things specifically, I can definitely do that for you later, but end of video, bye!